Good morning, everybody, and yes, it is a good morning. The stock market is relatively green, especially risk-on assets, and the Bitcoin miners are having a great day as well. Right now, I believe Cypher is taking the cake, almost up 7%, but we have others almost up 7% as well. Iron, CleanSpark, BitDeer almost 7%. We do have a couple names red. TeraWolf, for example, Applied Digital. I know TeraWolf had a couple recent green days. That might be why. But why is the market in general green today? What's going on? Well, we had some non-farm payroll data, employment data, and I'm not here to argue whether or not it's cooked. I'm just giving you the news. And also, sorry for my horrible voice. But yes, job data came in fantastic today. That is causing risk on to rally. This is a sign that the soft landing could potentially be achieved. So far, so good. The forecast was 150,000 jobs, but we saw 254,000. And the unemployment rate, which is very important, it did come down, not up. It dropped 0.1%. And when you look at this chart, this kind of shows a good picture. Job creation in the US. We did reach a low point back in spring of this year, April, May, June. Things have been improving since. And another positive is we do have upward revisions from previous months, not downward revisions, which is another positive. And like it says here, this report eases concerns about the state of the labor market. August total was revised up by 17,000. July saw a larger addition of 55,000. Now look at the year-over-year percent change in average hourly earnings. It has been coming down, but as of recently, as of July, we have been seeing it recover. Now when you look at the unemployment rate on a chart like this, it does show that, we have been gradually going up. I personally think that this is not the top. 4.3% might not be the top. I don't yet think we are out of the woods. And let's face it, even with that last cut, rates are still high. Now I do have another article going over kind of how Bitcoin has been affected today by the employment numbers. And here's a good quote that kind of sums it up. Markets are perceiving all news as good news for the first time in years. This article does bring up CPI, and that is coming up October the 10th, which means PPI is likely the 11th or the 9th. PPI is going to be on the 11th, one day after CPI. And what they mean by all news is good news, check this out. When you look at the Fed watch tool, you'll see that the lower cut, the smaller cut, is much more expected now because of this non-farm payroll data. Why is this news seen as good news? Why is a less aggressive cut seen as good news? The market is starting to believe, in my opinion at least, this is what I think the market is doing, is starting to believe that the soft landing can be achieved. To me, it's still hard to say. While a lot of analysts say that this soft landing is going to happen, it is going to be achieved, things can change quickly. But for now, all news is good news. Now we do have something else going on, the Coinbase Premium. It says here and explains it very well. The Coinbase Premium measures the difference in pricing between the Bitcoin to USD pair on the largest exchange, Coinbase, and Binance's Bitcoin to USDT equivalent. And on the bottom here, you can see the Coinbase Premium gap. You can see that when it is above the blue line, we do typically see a continued run. And this golden cross did occur last month. And Yonsai Dent says, despite the price correction from 66K to about 61K, in the beginning of October, this continued rise in demand from US-based investors suggests renewed upward pressure, and that this consistent demand, as reflected by this Coinbase Premium, it could signal a potential short-term recovery in Bitcoin's price. And here's something interesting as well, the Coinbase Flow Pulse. I don't think I've seen this before. Now this basically, it says up here, this measures the shifts into Coinbase from other trading platforms. And the Bitcoin inflow to Coinbase from all exchanges remains in the green zone, indicating strong demand in the US market. Despite the local pullback, the bullish trend persists. Compared to 2021, we are still seeing this positive Coinbase flow pulse. It is still green. And from a chart perspective, things are looking pretty good today. We did just break our descending wedge. I believe I showed you guys this yesterday or the day before. And now we did find support right around that 50 MA. And it's easier to see the reaction on the pattern compared to the daily. When you go to a smaller term time frame, you can see a clear trend that was broken. Now we have to watch this new trend. How is this gonna hold? Don't worry about the wick. What's important is the body. We might get a wick down, which is basically a fake out, but for now we are in a little short-term uptrend. Keep an eye on this ascending channel. Keep in mind our last ascending channel started in early September at about 52,000, and it ended in basically the end of September at 65,000. Look at this ascending channel. This might be the beginning of a new ascending channel. We did just get out of a little short-term drop. Now let me take out my high-tech drawing of the future projections of Bitcoin here. And you can see that, we're in this descending trend. Once we break this, that is when I expect the big move. That is when everyone expects the big move. I think it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And once we break this, there will be a huge piling in. In the end, we are all waiting for this breakout to occur. We are all waiting for that Q4 rally. Don't forget that while retail is somewhat bearish right now, while retail is unsure of Bitcoin's success, unsure of the cycle, whales are loading up at levels we haven't seen this cycle. And like I showed you guys the other day, whales bought $3 billion worth of Bitcoin in a period of 10 days. Big money can see the pattern for Bitcoin as well. The Coinbase premium is returning, and everyone will be fighting for those scraps of Bitcoin. Keep in mind, with only 450 Bitcoin released per day at its current price, that's right around $27 million that the market has to eat up every day. That is not a lot of money, especially when money is piling in. $29 million a day of needed buy pressure just to keep Bitcoin's price afloat. That's nothing. In the end, follow the halving. It's as simple as supply and demand. As supply gets diminished and diminished further, as long as demand doesn't drop off a cliff, we will see Bitcoin's price rally. But let me know how you guys are feeling today. This is so far a nice day to end the week. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and have a good weekend.